Hi Libra, welcome to your April 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, what to say? Well, April is bringing a welcome shift for you, Libra, after the intensity that was March, right? This is a quieter sort of month that's going to allow you to catch your breath, maybe realign with your priorities a little bit. It's also going to bring a focus on your daily routines, your relationships, and your long-term plans. As the energy as the energy starts to slow, you've got a chance now to reflect, recalibrate, and plant seeds for the future growth. All right, with that said, I am Raphael. This is my channel. Welcome to Reydiant Reality. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, if you don't know, if I'm ever talking about astrology, it's whole sign tropical Western astrology, for those of you that would like to know. If I ever forget to give you the dates or the degrees of the transits, you'll always find that stuff in the links in the description box below. And if you would like to book a personal session with me, you can do so on the links in the description box below as well. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So with that said, I also wanted to mention, if you're ever only going to watch one of these, please make sure it's your ascendant. It's going to be that much more accurate for you on that day-to-day level. Let's get into it. So on the 11th of March, now the transit that I'm about to talk about does actually start prior to the 11th of March. It actually starts, give or take a day on either side, wherever you are in the world, circa the 9th of April, but it goes right the way through till the 11th of April. Mercury is going to come into a conjunction with the North Node in the sign of Pisces. This for you, my dear Libras, represents your 6th house, right? So this is really the house of work, routines, your physical health and vitality, and it's bringing fated insights or conversations your way around all of these matters. Mercury, let me just get rid of myself so that you can see the chart properly. All right, so there you can see it's nice and clear for you. All right, so Mercury for you in your chart rules your 12th house, but it also rules your, where are you, Gemini? Your 9th house as well, right? So this is the house of expansion, of growth, of the higher mind philosophies, your belief system as well. It's teaching, coaching, mentoring, all of those kinds of things. And it also represents your 12th house of rest, recuperation. And this suggests that really and truthfully, one of the greatest things that you're trying to do at this moment in time is find a balance between work and also wellness, right? And this might be a consideration, especially because at the moment for you, the North Node is in Pisces, the South Node is in Virgo, and so your health axis of your chart is being lit up here anyway. You and obviously Mercury is communications, conversations, interactions. It's information that passes back and forth, right? You might get really important news about a job, about a project, maybe even a health matter at this moment in time, especially if you're waiting for things like tests, etc. It might even see you getting and feeling really inspired to reorganize your schedule in a way that really supports your physical health and well-being, right? So it's like, I'm no longer going to just run around like a headless chicken. I'm actually going to start diverting and maybe even bringing, because the 9th house, especially where Jupiter is right now, and Jupiter is the ruler of that Mercury currently and the ruler of that North Node, you might even find that this is a time where you start to bring a more spiritually aligned day-to-day experience into your work, where it's kind of like, okay, and the reason I mention this is when you think about the tide, when you think about nature, everything has its season, right? It can't just be constant work, 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 go, 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 right? The rest, if you speak to bodybuilders, they'll tell you the real growth happens when you're resting, right? It's not when you're in the gym grinding it out. Like, yes, that's an important part of it, but your rest and recuperation is just as important. So you may have a big or a powerful spiritual realization or even message that comes through right now that says to you, you are working too hard rather than working smart, and you need to maybe adapt some of the natural worlds. Like when you look at lions, when they hunt, they fucking hunt, right? They're in it, right? They will go in, they will tear, chase something down, tear it to shreds and eat. But when it comes time to rest and recuperate and sit in the sun, that's exactly what they do. When you work, work hard. When you rest, rest hard. Okay, like this might be a communication that comes in from a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a guru, maybe even one of your peers if you're studying at this moment in time. It could also be somebody from your past. It could also be somebody that maybe you haven't heard from in a long time, and they come in with just the right communication that you need at this moment in time. It's not even maybe, like this is definitely a time for you to trust your intuition. Subtle messages might sort of nudge you towards habits and routines that really align with your longer term goals. Listen to and pay attention to the small shifts that ripple outwards at this moment in time, because the sixth house is a detail house, right? So the decisions that you're making right now around your day-to-day life might lead to really meaningful changes, especially ones in how you approach your work and also your self-care. You got the Fool card, so you're resetting these habits and patterns in some regard, and you're resetting these habits and patterns for success. You better get the fuck in. You've got this with the King of Wands. King of Wands, usually a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could be somebody who comes in not only like to give you really important information, but also ninth house, right? The Jupiterian house, where Jupiter is at the moment as the ruler of this Mercury and the ruler of this North Node right now. This could be an opportunity to really get ahead when it comes to your money, your finances, your resources, or even your legacy at a later date. But this is an opportunity. You will have to do something with it. So pay attention to the communications that are coming in at this time. On the 12th of the month, as if, right, like literally the day after, I don't have a Chiron glyph, so if anyone out there wants to send me one, send me one. All right, so the sun is going to conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. Now, for you, this is your seventh house of partnerships, relationships. And when you look at it like this, the sun for you rules your 11th house of friendships, long-term goals. It meets Chiron, the wounded healer and the messenger as to the medicine that will heal the wounds that you have. It's coming forward in your house of partnerships, relationships, connections. It's really bringing, what does the sun do? It illuminates. It's illuminating the wounds or insecurities that you have related to relationships, partnerships, whether these are romantic, whether these are personal, professional, or platonic. If you've had like almost like a feeling of imbalance or an unspoken tension in a relationship, this is really an opportunity to bring some kind of healing to it through honest, open communication and mutual understanding. Now, the key really with this one, I'm going to say, because it's Chiron involved, is going to be vulnerability, right? Sharing your feelings openly might really lead to a breakthrough that strengthens your connection, whether, again, that's personal, professional, or platonic. This is also going to help you release old patterns of people pleasing, fear of rejection, especially as well by embracing your worth and trusting that your instincts will tell you what you need to know. This is helping you pave a way for a more authentic and fulfilling partnership life. Again, personal, professional, or platonic. So for this, you've got the Seven of Wands. You will have to do the work here, right? You're going to have to fight for it. You've got the King of Swords. King of Swords is usually an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. But because this is also a card of career and expertise, or even academia, it's probably a fight or a battle in those spaces. It's quite possible as well that if this is a person, the King of Swords coupled with the Empress, this would be a Libran male, right? So because the Empress is Venus, King of Swords, it's all there. So the fact that you've got the Empress card here means that healing can absolutely take place with this, but it is going to require grit. It's going to require determination and, you know, to say what needs to be said and also to hear what needs to be heard. Okay, so the next transit that I want to look at for you is on the 15th of April. There is a grand water trine. Now, you've been with me long enough so you know I don't usually include the moon in transits, but because this is a grand water trine, there's not a great deal going on this month either, to be fair, but this one I feel like it's important, this especially because this is happening across your second house, your 6th house and your 10th house. Now, way back when I used to talk about this a lot, I don't so much anymore, and maybe I need to, but I've always said if you do your 6th house well, the 10th house will take care of itself and the 10th house will give you your 2nd house, right? Truthfully speaking, you could say that your core values and what you value and what is actually important to you, the 2nd house, dictates what you will do and your habits, patterns and routines around work, and then those will feed into what your career is. We could look at it that way and so many other ways, but what I will say, this is a grand water trine, right? It's a harmonious energy. Where are you, Mars? I was just going to say, there you go, buddy. So Mars is still in Cancer, the moon is in Scorpio, and this will be trine to the stellium that's taking place in the sign of Pisces. Now, the reason I wanted to mention this one is because the moon is in Scorpio's sign. Oh my gosh. The moon, even though the moon is in full in Scorpio, the moon is in Mars's sign because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, which occupies the 2nd house for you. And Mars is in the moon's sign. So these two are in what we call a mutual reception. Whether either, right, Mars is in its full in Cancer, the moon is in its full in Scorpio, right? So both of these planets, well, there's one planet and one luminary, maybe they're not in the best of shape. Maybe they're not really experiencing what they want to, but they have a mutual reception, which means they're speaking each other's languages, and so the energy flows even better. This is harmonious energy between these two, and they're sending harmonious energy to Saturn, to Neptune, to Venus, and to Mercury. This is a pretty big deal. This grand water trine flows through your financial, your professional, and your daily life houses. It's creating an emotional alignment that supports stability and growth for the long term. The moon in Scorpio highlighting your money and your values. Mars is energizing your 10th house of career, making you really go-getting and speeding things up in that area. And the cluster of planets and energies in your 6th house is really pushing you not only to work hard, but also to work smart. We already talked about this with your physical health and vitality. It really is time to trust the flow, Libra. If you feel like you've been sort of juggling so many responsibilities or feeling uncertain about your next steps, this is going to offer clarity and emotional insight. It's going to bring you like a clarity on an internal level, especially because Saturn's a part of this, so it's bringing a stabilizing factor to it. And of course, you know, Saturn loves you anyway, right? So you might find that that solutions, should I say, to financial or career matters at this moment in time just really sort of flow to you, right? Or that the support that you need to make these things go smoothly shows up from potentially unexpected sources, but is a very welcome energy that comes in. Use this, right? Use it to connect with your intuition, to focus on building routines that nurture both your physical and your emotional well-being. That balanced energy is your natural strength. This trine is encouraging you to create harmony across all of these areas of your life. There's so much more that I could say, but let's keep it concise. You've got the Emperor card, well there's that, then you've got the Four of Swords, okay, and then you've got the Hierophant card. Two things. The first one, I want you to really, around this time, the day before, the day of, and the day after, so the 14th through the 16th, just watch out for the sleeping pattern because it might be a little bit more intense than you like your intensity. I will also say, it's quite possible at this time that there could be a lot of focus on the structures and even though this is a water trine, there could be a lot of focus on the structures and the oh gosh, come on, brain, on the structures and the like the material aspect of your life. And what's really interesting is, even though these are water signs, they're in what we call earth houses. The second, the sixth, and the 10th are earth houses. So very, very interesting to get that message. Um, okay, so on the 18th of April, Mars is going to re-enter Leo and come into your 11th house. Mars moving into your 11th house of friendships, goals, your society, like your societal and social norms and networks. It's bringing the drive to connect and to collaborate. Remember, Mars is a severing energy as well, though. So it could be that at this time, maybe you're deciding that there are friendships or groups that you no longer want to be a part of. It could be that you're releasing them in some way, shape, or form. Now, remember, Mars for you in your chart, where are you? Rules your second house of money, finances, and resources, and it also rules your seventh house of relationships. After a quieter period, this transit is going to bring it, like it's going to energize your ambitions, what you want for your future, and it's going to see you really taking bold action in that way, especially aligning with the right partnerships that support you financially, or at least offer their worth in some regard. Now, Mars rules your second and your seventh, as I've said, but it might be that you find like opportunities for financial gains or collaboration within your social circles. It's a really great time for you to network, to pitch ideas, to align with or connect with people who inspire you in some way. Be careful about impatience or conflicts in group settings at this time as well. Mars in Leo can bring that drama, right? Or as me and my friends say, the drama, darling. It could bring plenty of drama. So just watch out for that. Especially because emotions run high, right? Mars is in Leo, so we can all be a little bit more dramatic, as if I needed any help. Instead, channel this into leadership and also proactive efforts to achieve your goals, right? I want to see, like, the thing is as well that Mars gets a bad rap. But believe it or not, this little blighter, I say little blighter, but this blighter, he can actually be very strategic. Use it as such. Don't just think about your goals and your desires for your future. Plan them, build them, right? Use that Mars to strategize. What does my plan look like? And now I'm going to execute that plan. For this, you've got the Queen of Cups. Emotional mastery will be an important part of this. You've got the 10 of Cups, which interestingly enough represents Mars in Pisces. And then you've got the Hermit card. So this actually, even though this is Mars in the 11th and it is encouraging more social interaction, I do feel like a lot of you will be working on something behind the scenes, that you are getting ready, that you are preparing. A lot of you, this could focus around home, family, property. And with the Queen of Cups here as well, it does kind of say to me that even though this is not necessarily an intuitive combination, there may be intuitions or psychic nudges or impressions that come through that give you really fantastic, potentially money orientated ideas. And, finances are implicated because it's Mars in the 11th, that future finances, right? And also the 11th house is a gains house because it's the money that you make from your career or your business. So lots to think about here. Excuse me. And then the final transit that I want to talk about is Saturn is going to conjunct Venus, is going to conjunct the North Node, right? This is a really interesting and quite a rare alignment. So think about this. Saturn takes 30 years to travel the zodiac. Venus takes 19 months and the North Node takes 19 years, right? 18 to 19 years, give or take. Think about the math that has to happen for those three to align at this same point in your sixth house of physical health and vitality, work, routines. Sixth house is also pets. So some of you could be getting pets at this time. Now, let's look at this, right? Venus in your chart rules you, and she also rules your eighth house of other people's money, intimacy, you know, fears, your crises, your traumas. Your 8th house is also debts, right? What you're debted to, who you're debted to, or indebted to in some regard. Now, the other thing is, because Saturn in your chart rules your 4th house of home, family, property, and real estate, and also your 5th house of joy, children, your self-expression, personal business, etc., and all of this in the 6th house, it is kind of saying to me that there are likely to be moments where you realize that now is a time not only for change, but also creating a new structure in your day-to-day experience, and also that you need to start thinking about erecting stronger boundaries and also stronger emotional scaffolding on that internal level. This is a really powerful transit, I think. You've got this with the 6 of Wands. Victory and success is not far behind with the Ace of Wands. So this is bringing new ideas for work. It's also bringing new connections that in the long run will be amazing. However, this looks like, for a lot of you, this looks like new work opportunities, new conversations to be had. It also looks like you potentially having to set the record straight in some way, shape or form. So it'll be interesting to see how that shows up. For your lunations, on the 13th of the month, we will have the full moon in your sign, right? This is highlighting you. If there's something that you want to share with the world or something that you want to launch, this is a really good time to do it, because you are more visible than you will be all of this year, all right? Apart from when the sun is in your sign, obviously, or Venus, that is, right? Now, the other way that you could look at this as well, so for this, you've got the gate 28 and possible. And then on the 27th of the month, we will have a new moon in the sign of Taurus in your sister Venusian sign of Taurus, in your 8th house of other people's money, finances and resources, banking, taxes, debts, loans. You've got the gate 53 and opening. There's a financial opportunity here, but there's also a chance for you to address something that has been a problem, a challenge, or an issue to you on a very deep psychological level. I would also say this might be where some of you are starting to learn a new spiritual science. Maybe you're going to take my tarot course. Maybe you're going to study astrology. Maybe you're going to take a numerology course. Maybe you're going to start learning human design or the I Ching, or, you know, energy healing, whatever it is. Like, this could be a time where you start really dedicating a lot of time to that. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month, and let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.